Improvement from Shedeur today, coach, huh?
Yeah, let's see. I mean, man, those rookies leading everything. That's why they won 3 games. This team ain't going to be close this game. Aaron Rodgers, I'm fascinated by that. I love seeing it. I mean, let's say what it is, right? When you look at it, it's all about Myles Garrett.
Going back to this game to look forward, you're talking about the Cleveland Browns being able to just win 3 games. Rightfully so, Rex. They're going to be a team to reckon with down the road by having this young roster.
You watch with teammates or you watch them at home?
Nah, I'm trying to make it out of here so I can call Shedeur real quick and make sure he can get it done. So I'll probably just be,
Shedeur, I know you don't listen, but please, every time your team wins a game, please use we and us. That's it.
That's coming from a veteran coach. Let's state the obvious here. Rex Ryan, amongst other NFL analysts, have voiced their opinion about Shedeur. But if I'm Shedeur Sanders, I will implement we, not me. It's easy for an individual to take on the praise and making it about him. And I don't think that that's the case for Shedeur. Yeah. Hear that out. Because the amount of maturity that shifted, this is the same individual that was miming in front of the camera a couple weeks ago to the person that was saying certain things that you would expect from a backup quarterback. But now the person that we're seeing poised, he's been here before. He's well and capable of being what we need him to be. But now, as you had more success, understand the political aspect that's needed in order for you to be a true leader in the locker room as an NFL quarterback.
Shedeur Sanders just crushed Rex Ryan and exposed him for lying on national television, and the receipts are absolutely damning. Rex Ryan went on TV before the Steelers game talking trash about Shedeur, saying he wanted to see him throw an interception and questioning whether he'd even try to make a tackle. He disrespected Shedeur's entire rookie season by claiming that's why they won 3 games and acting like the Browns had no chance against the Steelers. And then Shedeur went out and beat Pittsburgh, eliminated them from playoff contention, and proved Rex Ryan doesn't know what he's talking about. But here's what makes this even sweeter. While Rex was lying about Shedeur on TV, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the team Rex was hyping up, were the same organization that refused to draft Shedeur, even though they desperately needed a quarterback. Mike Tomlin can praise Shedeur all he wants in press conferences now, but insiders are revealing that the Steelers were never going to draft him, no matter how far he fell, and it had nothing to do with talent. This is about exposing the lies, the bias, and the agenda that tried to destroy Shedeur's career before it even started.
I want to see improvement with Shedeur, too. I mean, see a little improvement from Shedeur today, coach, huh?
Yeah, let's see. I mean, man, those rookies leading everything. That's why they won 3 games. This team ain't going to be close this game. Aaron Rodgers, I'm fascinated by that. I love seeing it. I mean, let's say what it is, right? When you look at it, it's all about Myles Garrett, all right, getting the sack. But that is fascinating by Aaron Rodgers, that your clip. And what it showed is he actually was in protection, okay? And then he says, hey, look, they're just playing, they're showing too high.
By the way, there were some things that Rex said that if he actually followed it with a coherent thought, I would agree with. Is there a disconnect between Shedeur and Kevin? That's a fair question. I don't think there is. I think Kevin just has his attention elsewhere. But again, that's a fair question. But to act like the kid sitting on the sideline or that in the press conference said, hey, I really feel like this loss is on me, that it's somehow an indictment on his character, just say you don't like the kid. Or just say you haven't heard things that are good about him from the little NFL circles, instead of pretending like it has anything to do with the way that kid composed himself, because anybody that watched his press conference should have come away even more feeling like, hey, that's just a good kid, whether he's a good quarterback or not. In the same way, by the way, that I don't think Dylan Gabriel is going to be a starting NFL quarterback ever. He shouldn't be right now. Every time I watch his press conference, I come away thinking, that's a good kid.
Look, I need to start by playing you exactly what Rex Ryan said about Shedeur Sanders before this game, because it's important that you understand the level of disrespect and dishonesty that's been directed at this kid all season long. Rex Ryan, a former NFL head coach who's supposed to have some credibility when it comes to evaluating talent, went on television and said, I'd like to see if he throws an interception, him actually try to chase and make a tackle would be interesting this week. That's not analysis. That's not constructive criticism. That's a personal attack on Shedeur's character and competitiveness. Rex is essentially calling him soft, questioning whether he'd even put in effort to chase down a defender if he threw a pick. That's disrespectful on every level. But it gets worse. When asked if he wanted to see improvement from Shedeur, Rex laughed and said, yeah, let's see. I mean, man, those rookies leading everything, that's why they won 3 games. This team ain't going to be close this game. Read that again. Rex Ryan said the Browns weren't going to be close in this game. He completely dismissed Shedeur Sanders, the Browns defense, and the entire organization because he wanted to hype up Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. And what happened? Shedeur Sanders beat the Steelers 13-10, eliminated them from playoff contention, and made Rex Ryan look like a complete fool on national television. That's what we call receipts. That's what we call being exposed. And Rex Ryan has been awfully quiet since that game ended, hasn't he?
All I'm saying is there's 2 times you put the young man in the Wildcat and did not put him under center. And we're talking about uplifting the quarterback. Everybody's going to still look at a guy like Shedeur Sanders. They want him to win. I don't know if everybody in that building wants him to win.
Most QBs lose the game, and I thought Shedeur knew the assignment and he passed the test. He took care of the football for the most part, obviously the 1 interception, but other than that, he played really smart.
But here's where this story gets even more interesting, and this is the part that's going to blow your mind. While Rex Ryan was on TV disrespecting Shedeur and acting like the Browns had no chance, there were insiders revealing something absolutely explosive about the Pittsburgh Steelers and why they didn't draft Shedeur Sanders. An insider came forward and said, and I'm quoting directly here, if he would have fallen to the 7th round, the Steelers weren't drafting Shedeur Sanders. Why? Shedeur Sanders was not going to be picked by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Whatever the evaluation was, whatever decision was made, he was not going to be the quarterback picked, drafted, or called by Mike Tomlin. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. The Steelers were never going to draft Shedeur Sanders, even if he fell to the 7th round, even if he was sitting there as the clear best player available. They made a decision before the draft even happened that Shedeur was not going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. And why? The insider continued, because of talent or because of the hoopla they felt like that came with it. Translation, it had nothing to do with Shedeur's ability as a quarterback. It had everything to do with the fact that he's Deion Sanders' son, and they didn't want to deal with the hoopla of having Coach Prime's kid on their roster. That's bias. That's discrimination. That's an organization making decisions based on everything except football talent. And now, that same organization just got eliminated from the playoffs by the quarterback they refused to draft. The karma is almost too perfect. Now, while Rex Ryan and the Steelers organization were busy disrespecting Shedeur, you know who was supporting him? Snoop Huntley, Tyler Huntley, the Ravens' backup quarterback and Shedeur's former teammate. And the story of their relationship is absolutely beautiful and shows you everything you need to know about who Shedeur Sanders really is.
Will you watch with teammates or you watch them at home?
Nah, I'm trying to make it out of here so I can call Shedeur real quick and make sure he can get it done. So I'll probably just be, just watching it and get some rest.
The conversation with I heard Snoop called you before the game.
No, I called him.
But just
I think. I don't know, I gotta check my phone. But I think I had like a missed call from him.
After the Ravens clinched their playoff spot, Snoop called Shedeur at 6:30 in the morning before the Steelers game, and Shedeur explained what happened in the most genuine, heartwarming way. I think I had a missed call from him, or a text, something. I don't know. Then I just called when I woke up, like 6:30, called him, and I'm like, dang, bro, why you still up? And he was like, bro, I'm excited, bro. He was excited. They just got the win, and he definitely had words of encouragement and stuff for me. But here's the part that really got me emotional. Shedeur continued, but that's just how he is. Like, he's not just doing that just because it gives them a chance now. I think the overall person he is in the time that we have spent together, he did nothing but speak life into me, and I truly appreciate him for that. Speak life into me. Man, when's the last time you heard an NFL player talk like that? When's the last time you heard a rookie quarterback acknowledge the people who've been pouring positivity and encouragement into him during the toughest season of his life? A reporter asked Shedeur how his connection with Snoop developed so quickly, and his answer was pure gold. I think because I'm always smiling and he's always smiling. I think that's what it is. And then we just talk, and just had a conversation about God and why he feels like he was sent here, just to give me them words of encouragement to keep me going and understand his story and understand how things panned out for him also. So he always told me, be ready. And anytime I talk to him, he's always positive. And that's kind of like people with the same vibe usually get along with each other. That's the Shedeur Sanders that Rex Ryan and the mainstream media don't want you to see. They want you to think he's cocky, entitled, and riding his daddy's coattails. But the reality is, this kid has been building genuine relationships with his teammates, having conversations about God and purpose, and staying positive through unprecedented adversity. While Rex Ryan was on TV saying he wanted to see Shedeur throw an interception and questioning his effort, Shedeur was waking up at 6:30 a.m. to talk to a former teammate about faith, encouragement, and being ready for his opportunity.
I know he's been saying glowing things in the interviews about Shedeur. However, a coach that tenured, that's been there that long, he would have had some input on who they selected in the NFL draft and who they didn't select. So he was obviously asked about Shedeur Sanders and didn't think enough of him to stick his neck out there for him, despite having a relationship with Coach Prime. And so I just want to remind people of that.
That contrast tells you everything you need to know about who these people really are. Now, let's get back to the Steelers situation, because this is where the hypocrisy becomes absolutely unbearable. Mike Tomlin has been out here in press conferences praising Shedeur's toughness, his confidence, his competitive spirit. He's talked about how impressed he's been with Shedeur's development and his ability to handle pressure. But when a reporter asked Tomlin about his evaluation of Shedeur from the spring and how he's seen him develop, you know what Tomlin said? It does not matter. He's not a Pittsburgh Steeler. He plays for the Cleveland Browns. I'll let the Cleveland Browns talk about his evaluations. That's a coach who knows he made a mistake. That's a coach who's trying to avoid talking about the fact that his organization passed on a franchise quarterback because they didn't want to deal with the hoopla of having Deion Sanders' son on their roster. And now, that same quarterback just eliminated the Steelers from playoff contention and exposed Mike Tomlin's praise as hollow words that don't mean anything when it actually matters. The analyst breaking down this situation said it perfectly. How you don't draft a Shedeur Sanders, how you don't do that knowing how debilitated you are at the quarterback position spanning years. I'm not saying you didn't draft a quarterback at all. I know they drafted a quarterback, but I'm talking about Shedeur Sanders. I'm talking about somebody early in the first round. That's the question everyone should be asking. The Steelers have been struggling at quarterback for years. They've been cycling through aging veterans, mediocre backups, and developmental projects that never pan out. And when they finally had an opportunity to draft a franchise quarterback with elite arm talent, elite processing speed, and a proven track record of winning at the highest level of college football, they passed. Why? Because of hoopla, because of bias, because they couldn't handle having Coach Prime's son on their roster. And the analyst hit the nail on the head when he said, a coach with that tenure, that's been there that long, he would have had some input on who they selected in the NFL draft and who they didn't select. So he was obviously asked about Shedeur Sanders and didn't think enough of him to stick his neck out there for him, despite having a relationship with Coach Prime. That's the truth that nobody wants to acknowledge. Mike Tomlin had input on this decision. Mike Tomlin could have fought for Shedeur Sanders. Mike Tomlin could have told his front office that this kid is special and they need to draft him regardless of the hoopla. But he didn't. And now he has to live with watching Shedeur eliminate his team from the playoffs while Aaron Rodgers, the aging veteran they brought in instead, couldn't get it done. Now, let's talk about what the analyst said about Shedeur's performance, because this is important context. He acknowledged that Shedeur threw a bad interception in the game, and he said some of the decision-making needs to improve. But then he said something that perfectly captures what Shedeur has been dealing with. That'll come with time. I mean, he's still very new to this. He's only been with the Ones for about 3 weeks, but has shown enough promise for them to continue to stick with him. I'm happy he was ready when his opportunity came. I'm happy that he's able to make some big plays. That's one thing you can't say about Dillon Gabriel this year, that they were able to move the ball down the field like they can with Shedeur Sanders. They're getting in the red zone a lot more. That's the reality. Shedeur has only been getting first-team reps for 3 weeks. He was buried on the depth chart for months. He was sabotaged by his own coaching staff. And despite all of that, he's making plays that nobody else on the Browns roster was making. The analyst continued, any young QB coming into the league has a lot of weaknesses, and you know they have some strengths as well. But the adjustment period is going to be the adjustment period, and on very rare occasions do you see guys hit the ground running in the NFL. And even if they do, they're not like MVP caliber yet. There's things to learn still. That's what Rex Ryan and all the other haters refuse to acknowledge. Shedeur is a rookie who didn't get proper development time because his coaching staff was actively working against him. And he's still outperforming expectations, still making plays, still winning games that nobody thought the Browns could win.
Yeah, man, shout out to Shedeur. I think they have Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals left on the schedule. So that's going to be interesting. And like I say, and I'm going to leave you with this, I think the main thing for Shedeur is to show that he is QB1 going into next year. So he is still playing for something. So
the analyst ended with this powerful statement. The main thing for Shedeur is to show that he is QB1 going into next year, so he is still playing for something. And that's exactly what Shedeur is doing. He's not just trying to survive the rest of the season. He's not just trying to avoid getting embarrassed. He's proving that he's the franchise quarterback, that the teams who passed on him made a mistake, and that all the lies and bias and disrespect were never based on his actual ability as a football player. Rex Ryan said the Browns weren't going to be close in this game. Shedeur Sanders eliminated the Steelers from playoff contention. The Steelers refused to draft Shedeur because of hoopla. Shedeur Sanders just ended their season. Mike Tomlin praised Shedeur's toughness and confidence. Shedeur Sanders made him regret not fighting harder to draft him. That's what we call being crushed. That's what we call being exposed. That's what happens when you lie on national television and the person you're lying about proves you wrong in the most spectacular way possible. Shedeur Sanders just crushed Rex Ryan and exposed the Pittsburgh Steelers for refusing to draft him based on everything except football talent. While Rex was on TV disrespecting Shedeur and claiming the Browns wouldn't be close, Shedeur eliminated the Steelers from playoff contention. While Mike Tomlin was giving hollow praise in press conferences, insiders revealed Pittsburgh was never going to draft Shedeur no matter how far he fell, because they didn't want the hoopla. And while all the haters were lying on national TV, Snoop Huntley was calling Shedeur at 6:30 a.m. to speak life into him and encourage him before the biggest game of his career. The receipts are in, the lies have been exposed, and Shedeur Sanders is proving every single doubter wrong. If you want more truth about Shedeur Sanders, Rex Ryan's lies, and the bias that tried to destroy his career, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're bringing you the real story every single day. Let's ride with 12. Let's go.